Today, I want to talk about the very first Spelljammer dungeon, actually one of two Spelljammer dungeons, Wildspace. Now, Spelljammer had been limited to the box set and this module. It probably would have been a lot more fondly remembered. This should have gone down as one of the all-time great dungeons. But because of what came later in Spelljammer, that tarnished the reputation of Spelljammer and made this not so well remembered. Back in these days, playtesting was forbidden, and so some things were tested secretly by the game designers, and I think this was one of them. But the later Spelljammer stuff didn't look play-tested at all. So let's go through. What's so great about this module? Okay. So it starts with an anchor falling out of the sky. And so throughout this module, there are things that tell you what to do if the players do that. What do you do if they untie the rope that's attached to the anchor, or if they cut the rope, or if they climb the rope? And eventually, down the rope comes this thing that looks like a crow's nest with the crew of a ship, and they tell you the monster's coming to devour the city. You need to come with me and help defeat the monster. And so the players get up onto the crow's nest, and he takes you up to their ship in the sky. Now, these second edition modules have a tendency to be railroady, which some of the new school players I met like the railroad, but a lot of old school players prefer the sandbox approach. So up the rope in orbit is a ship. And the module comes with a full-scale map to show the ship. It's slightly different from the standard galleon thing, but that won't be immediately apparent to the players. So he tells you that, in fact, the monster's not coming to devour the city, he's coming to destroy the world. So we've got high stakes. And there's this nice troubleshooting thing. What if they attack the anchor? What if they refuse to join him? What if they kill everything that moves? That makes me think this was play tested, because what if they kill everything that moves is something that a DM who's actually played the module would have encountered. If you do this with real players, that's going to happen. So it goes into some detail about the ship and the crew, and you travel for a while, getting to know the crew, which are kind of odd. And then you meet a ship. And it's a ship full of beholders. And so you have a ship-to-ship battle, and after you destroy the beholder ship, then the beholders come out of it and attack you. And so assuming you survive all that, then you go towards the asteroid where you're going. Now, it didn't come up with a good map, but it described one. And so here's a drawing that my ex made for me of the outside of the asteroid, showing the X, showing where the cave is, where the back way in is. So we can defeat the Ravager, the monsters coming to destroy the world. Alright. So I think I need to switch sides of the map now. So you go into a cave. Look at a map of that. No. Okay, so you go into a cave, and the cave takes you into a room. So let me show you the map. So this is the map of the room, and it's shrunk down real small. See, here's a finger to show you how small that is, which is not really useful. So I made my own map. So that I took a photocopier and I blew up the map so it would be big enough. And so this is at the scale for ships traveling in Spelljammer. Map of it. It's a green world. And so right here, this dot is where the players enter, and the gravity is towards the sides of the map. You're inside of a cube, and gravity's away from the center. And here where it says entrance, there's a giant pillar with a hole in the top, and at the base of it is an armored statue thing. And the next time you go by it, that armored suit is gone. So let's move this. Okay, so that leads you into this. If you go through the top of the pillar, it leads you into this gigantic room. And the numbered things are murals, which the module describes them in great detail, but it's really hard to paraphrase those descriptions without giving away what it's a picture of. So my ex made me pictures of them. So here's one panel, and here's another one. And the next one, and the next one. These two fit together. Let's see. And here's the next panel. And the next one. This one she had to do twice. It's just very nice of her to do that. And when I show these to players, I wouldn't show them in order. So, because it's a circular room, it's a spherical room, and you don't know which is the right order, but this is the right order. Upside down. Okay, and here's the drawing that she made in preparation for doing these. Anyway, yeah, so those are the murals that are on this room, And this is a map that shows you the different rooms. Room 1 is the spherical ones, the others are cubical. And each room represents one of the powers of a beholder with a... And she made me paintings of these, which I have lost, unfortunately. Okay, so here's the cave where you first come into the asteroid. There's an illusion to hide the entrance. And there's spheres of continual light when you first sail the ship in. And then it ends up in this room. And this dome room at the top, here's a map of that. It's only a partial map, though. It's a bummer. And there's a crystal that radiates anti-magic in the center. So this explains. See, each of these circles is 5 feet in diameter. They're 5 feet apart. And a group of those make a circle that's 35 feet across, spaced 35 feet apart. And then there's a group of those spaced 225 feet apart to make a circle. And those make more circles. So circles and circles and circles. And here's a picture of the room from the South Pole. A view from above of the whole thing. Another one from above. Yeah, so it's a pretty cool map, but these should have gotten bigger maps. It's a real shame. So, as I said, each of the rooms represents one of the powers of the eye stalks of a beholder, and each one has a crystal in it that is the sun for that particular room. Now, I've run this several times. And the first time I didn't have the mural pictures, unfortunately. So the people who played in that didn't get to see them. Okay, so you go through this, and at some point there's a rumbling. The whole room starts shaking. If you go into the central room, these murals start lifting up, coming together. And eventually they come together to form a sphere, and it's possible to get into that dome room before the sphere closes. But it forms like a ship that looks like a giant beholder. And each one shoots a ray that's more powerful than ordinary beholder's eye. And so there are several ways you can go about this. You can try to attack this as a ship outside of it. Or if you try to get inside before it closes, you could go up to the central room where there's a beholder in one of those armored suits. You're going to fight him in the armored suit, and he's got like ion stones that duplicate the powers of beholder eyes that he can shoot you with. And once you defeat him, then he just hops out of the suit, and you got to fight a beholder again. And he's still got the power of those eyes. Let's see, here he is in the armored suit fighting the players. So, it introduces some new monsters like the Beholder Mage and the Sentinel, that's the armored suit. the silver slime are in one of the rooms. So, all in all, this should have gone down in history as one of the all-time great dungeons. It's really cool, really exciting, even though it's railroady. But the later Spelljammer stuff has tainted this.